what's the percentage of cities that you go into that you actually land a client versus cities that you go into that you give up on? What have you seen as far as your numbers go? How many cities are you having to go into before you are like that? Like how many cities you go into before you actually stick with that city and go get a deal?
I feel like I do. When I do through my due diligence, I definitely hit a lot more no's than yeses. But once I enter a market, I typically get leads. There's some places where I just cannot give a lead away to a business owner. I don't really know how to quantify that. I've been doing a lot better with building my prospecting list, so that's not been as big of a deal. But yeah, typically when I launch an ad, I'll get leads. I'm not, but I also will burn through, like I just did, like, I don't know, probably 80 due diligences last week. And maybe there's like 30 that I'm going to try to go explore.
So something that you just said there is, first of all, and Bernie, I think just to like clarify, I'm not sure if you're asking like how many campaigns do me and Jeff run before we land a client or before we stay with an area that's getting leads? Because like for the example Jeff used, that city fit all the metrics and he's getting leads and they're coming in with ads. And then now we got to find the right business owner. And sometimes that can be difficult. So that's going to kind of change. Like it could depend too. Maybe you hopped on with your best qualified guy in town and you just fumbled it. Right.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, like maybe I would have closed it. Maybe Jeff would have closed it, whatever. So that data, I don't think that data is ever going to be 100% accurate. We can just kind of guess, but I think the point that I wanted to just make sure that we emphasize, guys, did you just hear what Jeff said? He's like, I think we did 60 due diligence last week. This is a rhetorical question. How many due diligence have you done, period? Right? Now, is Jeff doing all those himself? No. But is Jeff leveraging other people, leveraging VAs, leveraging technology and systems and everything else? Yes. 60. I would wager to bet 80% of you have not done 60 total. And he did 60 last week. Okay. I can say over the years, I have personally, not even with my VAs, I bet I have personally done over 1,000 myself. And then we've probably done a couple more thousand with my VAs and everything else. And I think I shared this example. Maybe I shared it on a different call, but guys, I just barely invested into a real estate syndicate last Wednesday. And I think I shared it on this call actually. And the deal that we did, it's a deal in Dallas. And I said to the guys, like, and his name's actually Jeff, ironically. It's like, how did you find this deal, dude? This cap rate is insane. And he said to me, Nick, I went through 300 deals to find this deal. Okay. And I remember when the first of this year, Jeff's like, hey, this is gonna be a year. This is the year I really want to level up. And he's like, dude, I'm talking to some of these other people, Eugene and everyone else. I'm not taking enough action. Right. And so you have done, hats off to you. He's done a really good job of like increasing the action. Guys, you might need to go and look at 60 cities to go and find the right one. And that's kind of terrifying for some of you guys because you want to do one and go in and you've done 5 and you're frustrated. I can't find a city. It's like, dude, you did 60. Of those 60, how many did you say, hey, let's go set up a campaign or let's go to the next step?
There's probably a little under 30.
Okay. So out of the 60, half of those, let's say a little bit under half, let's say 40%, he'll go to the next step. So now he'll build a list and then he'll chip off some of those. And then he'll probably go in and look at the budget on the ads and he'll have some that are way higher and he'll probably chip. So I would guess out of those 60, I would be surprised if you did 10 of those.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, you might be a little bit better if you're getting good at the front end of like not going into stupid cities, but still, that's, guys, some of you guys have done 5 of these, 5 due diligence, and you probably didn't even do them correctly. And you're like, I can't find a city.
I'm finding them all day long.
I know. It's because he's creating a machine, dude. He's creating a machine and he's paying somebody a nickel. No, I'm kidding. He's paying somebody $3 an hour. And it's a great opportunity for them. I'm not trying to be condescending, laughing. I'm saying like some of us are over here like just so frustrated we can't find a city. And it's like, guys, we have to realize like what the people that are playing at high levels, that like a Jeff, like a Eugene, like me, guys, Patrick, Shane, Matt, Guys, we're doing so much action. We're looking at so many cities, and I cannot stress enough that a lot of these questions, a lot of these problems would be solved with the proper due diligence. Okay. We talked about this a couple weeks ago with Tim Ferriss. If you guys don't know who Tim Ferriss is, he's the one that wrote this book, the infamous 4-Hour Work Week. Okay. He said his criteria for picking what is something I should focus on this week. What is the thing I should spend my time on? I got all these things I need to do. He asks himself the following question: what is the one thing out of this list of, let's say, 5, that if I do this one thing, it will make everything else easier? That's the criteria. And I said to you guys a couple weeks ago, that one thing in this process is due diligence, is that skill set of looking for layups, of knowing what a good city looks like, getting through it quickly. You can master that skill, you guys are going to make a lot of money.